What's up, YouTube? All right. Earlier start to our live stream today because of Father's Day. But yeah, I got my puppy here. So we'll wait for a few of you to tune in. Come here, dog. Come here, dog. Come here, puppy. Yes, yes, yes. I want you to say hi to everybody. What's up, guys? How you doing? Come here, dog. Oh, look, she's so hyper. She's so hyper. Yes. Yes. What's going on, Tom? How you doing, everybody? Hi from Germany. What's up, Germany? Okay, you see that? She's a biter. And I'm covered up in scratches and scabs because of her. What's up, everybody? How you doing? We'll wait a few more moments for some people to tune in here. And we're going to be talking about some exciting stuff today. We're going to be talking about the Ronin S and the Crane 2 because I know that a lot of you are going to want me to do a review comparing the two gimbals. And guess what? It looks like I will be doing that review comparing the Ronin S and the Crane 2 gimbal. So I think that's going to happen very, very soon. So good. Can you stop biting me, please? Okay. You see what she's doing? She's just biting. She's teething like crazy. Okay. Okay. All right. All right, guys. So let's start off with some free-range questions here. Just about the Ju and Crane 2 these days. Great videos. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate it. I will be releasing a new Crane video on Monday about hyperlapses. So that will be exciting. Hello from Vietnam. What's up, Vietnam? Yeah. So yeah, we're just going to be doing a lot of cool stuff in the next coming weeks. I recently started working for a production company called Hurlbutt Visuals. So that's cool. So we're going to be doing a lot of tech reviews as well in the next coming weeks, like with new cameras, new lenses, like the Red Dragon, Red Helium, stuff like that. And I'm literally going to have a whole equipment room to choose from with basically every single type of camera and lens that I want, that you guys want me to review. Any slider, any light will be available to me, basically. So if you guys want me to review anything that you see in that production studio, feel free to let me know. I will be doing a few live streams showing you what's in that production studio. And trust me, I was there twice last week, and they have every single piece of filmmaking equipment imaginable. So we won't have any limits to what we can do. They literally have more equipment than film schools around LA. It's nuts. So it's very exciting. MC Drone says you're still struggling with the Crane M. Would love to see POV mode land on the Crane M. Unfortunately, that won't happen. It will not happen with the Crane M because they're developing new things. The Crane M falls into the same category as, let's say, the Crane V2. So that's kind of like the previous generation of their gimbals. Now they're focusing on their second generation and third, fourth, fifth, sixth, any preceding generation of gimbals, they're going to be focusing on that. So that's why, and all companies do this, you know, they want to push out new equipment, new gear, new technology. That's what happens. Apple is known to do this, especially with their phones. You know, they do different software changes, like with the iPhone X. They have facial tracking and all that other stuff. So they keep features for specific models. So yeah. What is the hottest merch in the game? That would be oh damn, that's a tricky one because James makes the hottest merch. James and Kitty so far make the hottest merch in the game. Dude, I have your Create sticker on my solo wheel and I have your Create sticker on my laptop. Check out James Matthews, guys. This guy is one incredible British dude, man. This guy makes gimbal footage look like they belong on like the Discovery Channel and like IMAX movies. James, you should work for IMAX, man. IMAX, hire James Matthews, dude. He will flip your movies like in crazy. Oh man, James Matthews, bro. Damn, it's good to have you on the live stream. By the way, how was the what's that event called that you were at? I forgot that. It was in Germany, I think, right? How was it? James Matthews spoke for Tech for the first time, and I'm pretty sure you killed it, but there's no footage. Where's the footage, bro? Okay. Halvin Wolf, what up, dude? When is the Momentous merch coming out? Oh, man. I don't know. I don't want my, if I come out with merch, I don't want it to look like crap. I want it to be like, you know, momentous. Like, I want it to look good. Yeah. My dog's eating right now, so that's what you're hearing in the background. Sanjay, hi, what's up? What up? What up? What up? Hello from Caraco. Yeah. James, when are you coming back to LA, bro? Or the States in general? Sebit, is that what it's called? Sebit was great. Thanks, man. Wasn't as camera related as NAB, more general tech. Can't wait to link up with you again for NAB and possibly CES. Hell yeah, dude. So, yeah, so my dog got her toy stuck in her food bowl. Give me 1 second. All right. Okay, cool. We're back. Yeah, guys. So this is what's coming up in the next coming weeks. So we got VidCon, and we have Jason Vong's meetup in Disneyland. I will be definitely attending the Disneyland meetup. When it comes down to VidCon, I'm still not sure. I know that Kitty from Atola Visuals is going. Jason Vong and I are still deciding whether or not we want to go to VidCon. We think that Logan Paul is going to be there, and you know how that's going to be. Yeah. If Logan Paul is going to be there, that's it. There's just no motivation for us to go because it's just going to be screaming teenagers and all that stuff. Kifala says, I tried Ju and Monopod, but it's badly performed. The screw cannot be tight enough. Do you have the same issues? With the Monopod, I don't have the same issues. The only issues I have with the Monopod is the sections where the extensions happen. It can bend a little bit if you have too much weight on one end. But every monopod does this. I just don't extend it all the way, and that way it gives me more reinforcement. So if I want to do like a jib shot or a crane shot and I hold it up like this, it won't bend as much. So don't extend it all the way. Make sure you still have a bit of slack still inserted into this. Sounds so weird. Make sure you still have some slack inserted into the sections, and that way it will better hold the monopod and it will keep it from bending. It will better support it. Hi from Norway. Thanks for the great tutorials using the crane too. Oh man, I want to visit Norway so bad. Norway's gorgeous. Thank you so much for tuning in, man. I appreciate it. What's the new single grip like compared to the two handles? So I just released a video on the, I think you're regarding the mini dual grip, right? So yeah, I still prefer the full-size dual handle system simply because it's better for my back. And I feel like I'm more stable and grounded using the dual handle system. But since I have both, I don't really use the mini dual grip as much. If I were to travel, yes, I will take that with me rather than the dual handle system because I can put that in any bag that I want. It's so small. So yeah, for traveling, definitely the mini dual grip. But for overall operation, I would definitely use the dual handles. Yeah, hands down. The guns are gaining, Josh. Oh, thank you, bro. It's all the cornbread I've been eating. It's dope in Norway. Hell yeah. Okay. Any new June Crane tutorials coming up? Yes, Monday. We have a hyperlapse tutorial coming. Monday. And then next Thursday, I'll be releasing a video on where I get non-copyrighted music from. I found a new place because I already tapped out YouTube. I got all the music from YouTube. It's all dried up now. There's other websites where you can get royalty-free music, and I have a video showing you one of these companies, which happens to be so badass that you guys will love it. James knows about this website. I think he's he might be off the chat, but yeah, James always uses this website. So I'm going to be releasing that video on Thursday. So for those of you who love releasing travel videos, this will definitely help you out. Okay. So that's coming out Thursday, Monday, hyperlapse tutorial and all that good stuff. And James is still here. And by the way, for Monday's hyperlapse video, I will be using a unicycle to help me up with the hyperlapse. That's right. So I'm trying to use the most ridiculous equipment possible to see if it'll actually make the footage look even better. And you know what? So far it is. A unicycle will actually make your footage even smoother. It's faster than running. So it's good for those fast tracking videos. That way you don't have to run, you won't tire out, and you won't see that up and down movement. You can just hop on the unicycle. It's easier to ride than a hoverboard, in my opinion. It's better than riding a scooter or what is it called? A boosted board. It's faster than a boosted board, and it can take bumps a lot better than a boosted board because it's got a 16-inch tire, air-filled tire. So it will handle bumps, it will handle cracks in the ground a lot better than any skateboard. So that's another reason why I prefer that over a boosted board. A boosted board, I don't really see that for filmmaking. I see it more as like transportation. It's one of the coolest things for transportation. The unicycle, it's relatively new technology. Okay, this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. Okay, you can take your toy, you can play with it over there. Okay, sorry. So yeah, I do think that boosted boards, the problem with boosted boards is that they have rubber wheels. This is not gonna happen. This is not gonna happen. I'm putting this up here. You can say hi to everybody on the live stream. Okay. Say hi to, no, she doesn't want to be on the live stream. Okay. So yeah, that's why I use the solo wheel. Okay, you got that 16-inch tire, it's air-filled, it will take any bump or any crack up on your path, dude. So definitely recommend it more than a boosted board. And it's faster too. It's faster. Kurfala says, my smooth keeps spinning uncontrollably when I turn it on. What do I do to fix that? Okay, so this seems to be a little bit of a sensor issue. What I want you to do is send me a video of it spinning. Can you do that? Can you upload it to, let's say, unlisted link and send me the link? Or you can Dropbox me the video and I'll have a look. Okay. Hi from Kenya. Thanks for the video. So educative. Just a quick question, hopefully not out of context. Do you consider a drone an absolute must-have for a prospective filmmaker? For a prospective filmmaker, yeah. Yeah, you want to... I would even recommend an underwater drone too. If you're one of those filmmakers that needs to have every perspective possible, underwater drone, aerial drone, I mean, yeah, I would definitely recommend that. Unfortunately, underwater drones are not where they need to be yet. So I would wait, I would hold off a little bit and wait for that tech to go up, because underwater, I mean, I think 60% or 70% of the world is underwater. So you would be surprised if you think the footage you get in the air is impressive, think about the footage that you can get underwater. So that's the next thing I think DJI needs to develop, and that is an underwater drone. I think people have had enough of aerial drones. I mean, it's so easy to get aerial footage now, but underwater footage, not so easy. Okay, MC Drone, thank you so much for your super chat, brother. Hey from Germany, appreciate your videos. Thank you so much. What would be the smallest amount of money you would spend on a Steadicam? Smallest amount? 175. 175 to 200. Hello from Northern California. What up? Are you in the Bay Area? San Francisco Bay? Thanks for the video. Hi from India. What up? What up? Is it safe to upgrade the firmware on the Crane 2? I'm a Windows user, and I've read that some people brick their gimbal. I have updated all my gimbals. I have gimbals from Feiyutech, Moza, and I used to have one from King TV and Juwentech. Now I have a lot of Juwentech gimbals. I've never had issues with bricked gimbals except with the Moza. Moza, I did brick my gimbal, but that wasn't because of a firmware update. That was just some parameters that I set. So Moza was one of the gimbals that I was able to brick, but I was able to revive it, thank God. And I also bricked my King TV Argo gimbal as well. So never with the Juwentech gimbals did I brick it. I think some people, what they're having an issue with, I just don't think they're turning on. I know it's going to sound a little bit pretentious or arrogant, but a lot of people don't know how to properly turn on their gimbals. Sometimes they put in the batteries wrong. Sometimes they don't screw in the handle tight enough. Sometimes they don't even connect their USB cables properly or even upgrade the firmware properly. It's very unlikely for you to brick your gimbal. It's very unlikely. A lot of people have been reporting bricked gimbals, but I have had so many Juwentech gimbals, and I'm not just saying it because I'm endorsed by them, but I've literally had so many gimbals from Juwentech that I haven't had any, even the beta versions, I haven't bricked any of them. So I don't know what people are doing. If you did brick your gimbal, I would appreciate if you send me a video of your process of updating the gimbal. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you are doing everything right, and it could be a hardware issue. I want you to send me proof. You send me proof, I send it to R&D, and then they have a look at it, and then they know what to improve. So that's what you need to be doing. Me, myself, James, Matthews, we're representatives of Juin. So if you guys have any issues, we're like this with Juwentech. So we know how to get in touch with the R&D department, engineering teams. So if you have any issues, if you need to report anything, you let us know, and we send it over to them. So don't be afraid to let us know, because communication with us is going to be a lot easier than communication with them, because they have their whole other department in China. We're representatives in America. So if you're in America, especially, it's a lot easier to contact us. Or for my British friends, Great Britain over there, you got James Matthews. So yeah, cool. Okay. Hi, Josh. I want to buy the Crane 2 with the follow focus. Is it worth it? Do you recommend other models? I am currently using a DSLR camera. If you're using a DSLR camera, yes. Crane 2 follow focus, hands down. Would definitely recommend it. Wish I could afford a gimbal. Keep up the great work. Oh, you will. You will. You'll be able to. Honestly, tech is growing so fast that gimbals that you see that are $800 right now, they're going to drop down to like $300 or $400 in about a year or two. So you'll be able to afford any gimbal you want very shortly. My V2 with a proper cable is not. What are you doing? My dog is going insane. Lola, relax. Take a chill pill. Here. Okay, so next question is, my V2 with the proper cable is not responding to my MacBook. I have the apps, but cannot update the firmware. Did you... All right, give me one, guys. I'm sorry, but I gotta fix this. She's messing around in her cage. Give me 1 sec. Lola, come here. You're making too much noise. Come on. You're making too much noise and people can't hear me. Okay, sorry about that, guys. She's a little puppy, so she has a lot of energy. Okay, look at these questions that we're doing. Okay, so make sure you have that driver installed. Okay, the driver for updating the firmware, very important to have. Okay, relax. Just give me 2 minutes. 2 minutes, that's all I want. Just 2 minutes, relax. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. How do you think about the DJI F450 or F550? Because I know much about these. Please help me. F550, are you talking about the drones, or what are you talking about? Lola needs some attention. Yeah, she does. Oh, She lie down. I think we're in good shape now. She lied down. Okay. Okay, I think we're in good shape now. I just got the Crane Plus. Camera lens combo is 1.1 kilograms. What would you say my motor strength should be set to? 1.1, I would say medium. Medium is good because you're right in between the 1 pound to 5 pound payload, 5.5 pound payload. So I would say medium is good. Oh, Lola, cute. Yeah, maybe Lola wants to live stream. Yeah, your dog is so cute. Oh, thank you. Lola is a female, right? Yeah, she is a female. Yeah. Well, she lied down, so I think she'll be quiet now. June Crane 2 versus Ronin S. Yes, I think I will be comparing those two gimbals. So give me some time to work on that for you guys, and before you know it, that will be coming out. Dogs are awesome. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. This one is, when I got her, she was 12 pounds. That was 3 weeks ago. Now she's 18 pounds. So she's growing really, really fast. She's supposed to be a 55-pound dog. Yeah. So she's going to be a horse, a mini horse very, very soon. Any more questions, my friends? Sorry, we got a little bit sidetracked with my dog, but she's been a little bit crazy this morning. A little bit crazy, a little bit crazy, just a little bit. But yeah, she seems like she's calming down now. Suggest me about editing software for my PC, Adobe Premiere Pro. That's probably the widely used editing software. A lot of people use Adobe Premiere Pro. Very stable. I wouldn't say it's the easiest software to use, but it is the most stable. It's also, it's not that user-friendly, but it is very commonly used. It's very, I think it's the industry standard right now. Final Cut, a lot of people left Final Cut. They just don't, I don't know why they left Final Cut. It seemed like a lot of features were taken away, but I didn't see that. So I use Final Cut Pro 10 on my Mac, and I love it. I'll never go back to any other video editing software. Kerfala says, how to balance a heavy lens on the Crane 2 with the Nikon D5500 with the battery grip. See, if you're using a battery grip, Juentech makes this extension for your base plate on the Crane 2. It has a longer adjustment arm, so you're going to have to use that. What happens is when you use a battery grip, you're making your camera very tall. And the standard rig, the Crane 2, doesn't have enough adjustment on that base platform to lift it up or down. So you're not going to get a proper balance on your pitch axis. So you need to get the extendable. It has a longer range of extension for the Crane 2. You can also manually adjust it by removing the 4 screws that hold the base plate and then dropping it down. I don't suggest doing it that way because if you do have multiple cameras and you want to mount it onto that base plate, you're going to have to constantly undo those screws, lift up the base plate, tighten up the screws. You're going to end up losing a screw or breaking something. But if you only have one camera that you plan on using with your Crane 2, then yes, that is a good permanent fix. But I do still suggest getting the upgraded mount, which has a longer travel, a longer extension, so you can move the base plate up or down, and it will fit any, it will balance any battery grip basically. How important is the walking technique with a gimbal? Very important. It's the most crucial part of using a gimbal. Walking and running, it's all very important. So what affordable Steadicam would you suggest? Probably an often asked question. Sorry, no worries. What's an affordable Steadicam? I need to know your budget. What's your budget? I don't know what affordable is until you let me know, because affordable could mean, it could be different numbers. So let me know. What program are you recommending now? I'm using Sony Vegas. So I would recommend Adobe Premiere Pro. Honestly, if you're already using Sony Vegas, keep using Sony Vegas, because that was my all-time favorite PC software. I learned video editing on Sony Vegas. But if you plan on working for production companies, you do have to learn how to use Adobe Premiere Pro. I don't know why people are like this, why production companies like this, but they seem to be falling into Adobe. I don't know why. I'm not a huge fan of Adobe personally, but a lot of people love Adobe. I think Sony Vegas is better software in my opinion. But yeah. The shots with my crane is moved. Why? I don't know what you mean by that. Sebastian says about 150 to 200 bucks. So I would get something like maybe a Lang, L-A-I-N-G, Lang stabilizer, P-4S. That's a really good one for that price. Do you still think that Feiyutech A2000 gimbal is worth it? You gave it quite a good review in the previous video. So I did like the Feiyutech, but as you saw, the comparison between the Feiyutech and the Crane Plus, the bobbling effect, that to me is a deal breaker. I would go for the Crane Plus. I mean, I have footage proof of why I think the Crane Plus is a better gimbal. When you're zoomed in, when you're using a telephoto lens, you can see how the Feiyutech likes to bobble side to side. You don't have that effect on the Crane Plus. And they're relatively, I think they're about the same price. So Crane Plus by far will take the cake for that. Feiyutech, what I liked about the Feiyutech was the grip. I like the thicker handle. And I like the rubberized grip. It can't charge your camera like on the Crane Plus. And it doesn't have, and it felt a little bit weaker with the payload, just a tad bit weaker. But yeah, I don't think the Feiyutech is on the Crane Plus's level. They do have some work to do. How to cut videos. I have a video on that. Check it out on my channel. Do you know anything about Sony Vegas Movie Studio, and would you recommend it? Thanks. Yeah, I do. I grew up with Sony Vegas Pro. Sony Vegas Studio is just like it's exactly the same. It just has limited features. Like I think you can only add up to 20 video tracks or 10 video tracks. For most people, that's perfect. You don't need any more than 10. It's just a very condensed version of Sony Vegas Pro. Sony Vegas Pro, I think, is, I forgot, 500, 400, 500 bucks. And then Vegas Studio, I think, is 200 or 100. Don't quote me on the prices. I'm not sure, but I'm just spitballing prices here. But yeah, I would still strongly recommend it. It's very affordable and easy to use. Is it normal to add a bit of post-stabilization with gimbal footage? Is it normal? It can be. I mean, it is. I don't personally, because I feel like it warps the image too much and you lose resolution whenever you put in a digital stabilizer. Because what stabilization does, post-stabilization, is it zooms in on your footage. That way it can mess with the edges of the frame to stabilize the overall frame. So I don't recommend using post-digital stabilization. Only use it if you strongly need it. Like if there's a ton of vibration, if there's a ton of really abrupt movements, yes, use it. But I try to stay away from it because I know it just doesn't produce the prettiest images possible. You do lose resolution. You do. And I'm always very concerned about resolution. I want to shoot in the sharpest resolution, the highest resolution as possible, because I just want my footage to look clean. And this is really interesting. So I took out my Sony A9 and I was shooting at 4K. And for those of you who don't know, the Sony A9 downsamples from 6K resolution. So it's basically a 6K sensor down-resing to 4K data. I took out my Sony A7S, which has a 4K sensor, and I compared, and internally on the A7S, you can only record up to 1080p. I compared the 1080p from the Sony A7S to the 4K on the Sony A9, and the difference was it was massive. I thought my Sony A7S footage was out of focus in every single shot comparing it to the A9. That's how crazy the difference is. I thought my A7S was out of focus. I didn't realize that it would make that big of a difference. And it sincerely made a massive difference. 4K and 1080p on a small mirrorless camera, I didn't think it would be that much of a difference. But comparing the footage together, wow, A9 much, much, much sharper. And when I'm talking about, when I'm referencing the A9, I'm also talking about the A7R3 and the A7 III. You're going to have the same amount of resolution there. Except on the A7R3, you're downsampling from 5K, but it's very, very close. So that's the thing. I did not think that 4K and 1080p made such a massive difference with mirrorless cameras. I really didn't think that. And then I compared the footage. I actually set it up on a dual cam system for an interview that I was doing for a therapist. And we were making a promo video for her. And then I went back into the editing and I compared A and B camera, and I was like, am I losing my mind, or is the A7S out of focus? Like, I was sitting there looking at the A7S footage, and I was like, wow, I have to refund my client's money. This looks like out of focus. And then and then I had a few other people check the footage and like, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's in focus. It's just I was so used to shooting with the A9 that going back to the A7S, it was just like, whoa, out of focus. So yeah, that's the thing. 1080p 4K makes a massive difference. I didn't think that for mirrorless cameras, but it does. Hello, I'm Khalaf from Kuwait. Do you have any solutions for overheating with the Sony A7S Mark II? So I had the A7R Mark II, and that thing was overheating a lot. I did do a few things to help make the camera cool down faster. I did put it in the fridge a few times. I don't recommend you do that, but I was at a shoot and I needed it to cool down. So I was like, here, Laura Clury, that's one of my clients. She's really big on Facebook if you check her out. I was shooting a skit with her, and my A7R2 was overheating. It didn't want to cool down. I gave it 10, 20 minutes. It didn't want to cool down. So I was like, here, Laura, put this in the fridge for me. And we waited for it to cool down. Are there any settings internally that you could do to make sure that your camera doesn't overheat? Well, turning off 4K is one of those. Turning off 4K will greatly reduce the heat. Will it still overheat in 1080p? Well, it depends if you're shooting in 80-degree weather or not. 80 degrees and up will definitely eventually overheat your camera even in 1080p. It's happened to me. But 4K on my A7R2 would not last longer than 10 to 12 minutes of recording, and then it would just overheat. My A9 doesn't have that issue. I've never had my A9 overheat, never. And I've shot it in like really hot, like 90-degree weather. And I think Sony fixed that issue with the newer gen of their cameras. Did you use the A6500? Is it worth buying, or is it better to invest in another model, for example, the A7 III? So the A6500, I've never touched that camera. I know a few people who do use that camera, and Kitty from Atola Visuals has the A6500. She loves it. She says the autofocus is phenomenal. So I'm a full frame guy. I love the low light that I get out of a full frame sensor, so I stick to full frame. But from what I've seen, the test footage that I've seen on the A6500, the autofocusing on that thing is remarkable. So if the budget allows you to get the A6500, do it. But if you have a little bit more of a budget and you can afford a full frame camera, I would recommend going to a full frame. I would. What is your time? It is 12:13 p.m. on Sunday. Kerfala, you skipped my question. Dual grip handle cannot fit on my backpack and my carry-on bag. What do I do? You have to take it apart, man. You got to take off the grips. You got to take off the grips and try to mount it on the side of your backpack. There are some pockets on the side probably, right? So try to mount it on the side. Don't necessarily put it inside your backpack, but leave it on the outside. Put it in the pockets that you have on the sides of your backpack. That should help out. Bye, Josh. 2:13 a.m. in Vietnam. See you next time. See you later, Dan. Hi, A7R3 and Sony 16-35 G Masters. Too heavy for my June Crane Plus. Did you try this on the June Crane 2? I tried a heavier, much heavier setup on the Crane 2. I tried the A7R3 and the 24-70 G Master, which is a heavier lens. Yes, it works. I even balanced my A9 with a 70-200 G Master. That lens I own. That one I balance on the Crane 2. So yes, it can definitely work. And I'm kind of surprised that the A7R3 and the 16-35 G Master won't fit on the Crane Plus. It will. It will. That setup should work with the Crane Plus. So keep working on it. I balanced, I believe, with Jason Vong, we used the Crane Plus and the, what's it called? A7R3 and 24-70 G Master. So we made that work on the Crane Plus. So you shouldn't have any problems with that setup. Yeah. Any sports modes on the Crane 2 like the Ronin S has? It's in like pre-beta. I wouldn't say it's ready yet, but it's coming. It's definitely coming. It's a feature they're working on right now. If you notice, I did the review on the wireless remote you have to buy it separately. But there's a wireless remote that you can buy, and there's a sport mode button on it. They are working on creating the sport mode feature that will make the gimbal react a lot faster. So yes, there will be sport modes on the Crane 2. We have a video on how to put the dual handle inside of a backpack. It's too long for the backpack. I won't do a video on that. It won't, unfortunately, no. It's just not a searchable topic. But you have to try. You have to maybe get a different backpack, but if it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. You're gonna have to get another backpack, man. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's just, yeah. I won't be able to do a video on that, unfortunately. Is optical image stabilization a problem for a gimbal? I would say for fast tracking shots where you're running and making pretty fast pans, it will be a problem. But when you're doing slow tracking shots, like walking and slow pans and tilts, optical image stabilization shouldn't be a problem. But when you're running and doing very crazy moves like this, it could make some abnormal movements to the footage. So I would turn it off when you're doing really fast-paced movements with the gimbal, but turn it back on when you're doing slow movements with the gimbal, and you'll get better results that way. I want to mount a gimbal to a shoulder rig for wedding work. Any thoughts? That's a very good idea. I actually have, in storage right now, I have a shoulder rig for my Crane 2. It's made by Tech. I'm currently testing it out. I don't think it's on the market yet, but I'm testing it out, and it's kind of cool. I mean, I wouldn't use a shoulder rig for tracking shots or anything like that because it really restricts your movement by having this massive shoulder rig. But for like, if you're shooting a wedding, for example, and you're shooting like a speech or something like that, you can definitely use that shoulder rig in replacement of a tripod. So you don't have to constantly take off your camera, put on a tripod. You just put on your shoulder rig and just, every now and then add some nice soft pans or tilts around the subject and maybe slowly go to the audience. It obviously depends on how many cameras you have covering. But you can do some really nice subtle pans and tilts with the shoulder rig and get that nice, dynamic movement. So that's why I love using shoulder rigs at times. I think that it can definitely replace a tripod and it will save you a massive amount of time. Again, this all depends on how many cameras you have covering the event, but if you only have like 2 cameras, you can't constantly take off one camera on and off a gimbal and putting it on a tripod. That takes up a lot of time, especially if you're by yourself on a gig. I would much rather have it on a shoulder rig. A shoulder rig, you can easily just boop, boop, take it off, put it back on, no problem. But on a tripod, you got to slide it off. the crane too. You got to slide it back onto the tripod. And obviously, the quick release plates have to match both on the gimbal and on the tripod for you to easily just interconnect the camera. If they have different quick release systems, you're gonna have to take off the quick release plate, screw a new one on, and then put on the tripod. It just takes up a lot of time. So shoulder rig will definitely help save a lot of that time for you. Any plan for another collaboration with the other guys? Yes, definitely a collaboration coming. Let me check my calendar here. I'll tell you an exact date. So Sunday, June 24th, I'm going to be having, Jason Vong is going to be having a meetup at Disneyland. I will definitely be there. That's on the 24th. Kitty from Atola Visuals will be in town for VidCon next week. I'm not sure if I'm going to VidCon yet. I'm still debating. But I will be doing something with her next week as well. So yeah, so far Kitty and Jason, and then Armando from Mondo Bites TV. I got to get back in touch with them because we are supposed to collab soon as well. So that'll be cool. Hi from the middle of, hello from the middle of Europe. Czech Republic. I'm Russian. Do you speak Russian too? I know a lot of Czech people speak Russian. Andrew Harry. Hi, I'm Andrew from Indonesia. I want to buy a lens for my A7 III, but I'm confused which lens to buy for my wedding video shoot. Should I buy the G Master 16-35 with a G Master 85mm or Sony 12-24, 24-105, and 55mm? I would go with the 12-24, 24-105, and 55mm. I really do think that. Here's the thing. I saw I have the 85mm 1.8 from Sony, and from the looks of it, from all the footage that I've seen, there is no difference except for a slightly shallower depth of field between the G Master version of the 85mm and the Sony version of the 85mm. They're both just as sharp. The 85mm is going to be the G Master is going to be heavier, and it's going to get you slightly more of that shallow depth of field because of that larger aperture. But it's just not worth that price tag. It's really not worth that price tag. So I would go for the 12-24, 24-105, and 55mm. You're going to get better coverage as well regarding focal length. How do you transport a gimbal? You always take it out for transport? No, I keep it in one of my camera bags. I sometimes even put it in its original case, and I just transport it that way. What kind of stuff do you film professionally? A lot of workout videos. That's mainly what I'm doing now. But I'm getting out of workout videos because it's not something I enjoy as much anymore. And now I started working with a production company called Herbutt Visuals, so we're going to be doing a lot of cool stuff for them as well. Kindly recommend 2 lenses only for video weddings, music on the A7 III, wide and normal portrait, max budget $1,500 for both. Okay, I would recommend. That's a good question. $1,500. 24-70 Zeiss f4. That's a great coverage for one. And then the other one, I would do wide probably. I would maybe do a, yeah, $500. You're probably gonna have to do a third party lens, but a prime. Maybe do a 16mm prime. Yeah, awesome. All right, guys, I got to get going. I got to prep for my tutorial video for Monday. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Please share this channel with your friends and family. Anybody who loves filmmaking, please, let's make this community a lot larger. I love you all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Much love, and I will talk to you and see you tomorrow. Peace.